society organizations have played various vital roles in humanitarian interventions addressing poverty and hunger around the country. In addition, creating awareness on the importance of a balanced diet to reduce the epidemic of malnutrition, conducting advocacy, and working with government agencies in passing and implementing laws that ensure a healthy and thriving society. It all starts with food. Food shouldn't just taste good. It should give off nutrition, vitality, and nourishment.
Nutrition is something that covers a large spectrum of things, but essentially taking the items from the food and using it for the benefit of the body. Nutrition solves issues with malnutrition, which is either overnutrition, undernutrition, or what we call hidden hunger, which is micronutrient deficiency, and also addresses issues of long-term diseases like cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, diabetes, and all of that. All of those issues have to do with nutrition.
We need nutrients to grow, for growth, for development, maturity, repair of worn-out tissues and all that, and for different phases of life. So it depends on what the body requires at that point. Of course, we're looking at children, you're looking at growth, you're looking at development. Of course, an adolescent also needs a lot of energy, a lot of nutrients and calories and all that. But for adults, we're looking at maintenance, basically having the right nutrition to flow through the life cycles and then, of course, maintain good health.
Civil society organizations have provided support and interventions to the government agencies as they deal with the menacing aspect of malnutrition in Nigeria. One of the many organizations is the Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria, CS-SUNN, a coalition of over 400 nutrition civil society organizations that are able to provide a shared vision of improving the nutritional state of every Nigerian while addressing the issue of food security and nutrition education. CS-SUNN is steadily in alignment with Nigeria's National Strategic Plan of Action for Nutrition and has since taken interventions across several states. The achievement within the period has been very commendable by beneficiaries and government representatives. By providing advocacy, research, and technical support, it has allowed several state governments to allocate, plan, reenact, increase funding, track and monitor issues bordering on nutrition.
Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria, CS-SUNN, is a young organization. And this organization came to being because of their need to improve the nutrition profile in the country. The aim, like I said before, was to mobilize non-state actors from various states and field locations for them to galvanize action, put energy together for the purpose of scaling up nutrition in Nigeria, improving the profile, helping to set the system, helping to advocate and create and give voice to issues related to nutrition in the country.
The absence of nutrition is an adverse invitation to malnutrition. This is the underlying cause of the underdevelopment of the human body.
When you eat just about any food or you don't eat enough, excess of anything is not good and not enough too is a problem. So if you're not eating enough or you're eating above normal, then you're likely to come down with ailments.
Malnutrition remains a staggering challenge to the country's population and its advancement. According to Professor Kola Anigu from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and UNICEF data on nutrition in Nigeria, 53% of deaths under the age of 5 is linked to malnutrition, and 4 out of every 10 children are stunted in growth. An estimated 2 million children suffer from severe acute malnutrition, SAM. 7% of women of childbearing age suffer from acute malnutrition. Even gloomier is the report that 13 million people, especially in northern Nigeria, would suffer from malnutrition or die of hunger.
Everybody needs to go to the drawing board and see, why are we part of this very terrible ranking? Why are we still amongst the top countries with the burden of malnutrition? And despite all the resources at our disposal, and of course, there's a huge problem.
Malnutrition is not just about the lack of food. It induces two things: being underweight or overweight. It is directly the foundation for several chronic diseases a person can encounter later in life. Take an instance. Type 2 diabetes is the number 2 killing disorder in the world today, only second to high blood pressure and cardiovascular diseases. Both of these health challenges can be traced back to an individual's diet and lifestyle over the years. The greatest danger of this anomaly is the aspect of malnutrition in mother and child. This is drawn from inadequate child feeding practices within its first 1,000 days of birth with a malnourished woman. When mothers are malnourished or stunted, they are at a greater risk of producing malnourished or stunted children at birth. Good nutrition is responsible for forming a child's personality and mental alertness at the early stages. If a mother doesn't consume the right nutrients, the child stands the risk of having cognitive imbalance or underdevelopment, leading to poor academic performance and low IQ, along with poor bones and organ development. Malnutrition in children can happen and persist for years unnoticed. Extensive research and observation have recommended that exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life is the optimal way to feed infants, after which adding a sufficient quantity of nutritious solid food along with breastfeeding is necessary to make sure a child grows up properly, because most stunting happens within this critical period.
Nigeria is suffering from what we call double burden of malnutrition. So you see a good number of children and adults as suffering from obesity, and then you see a good number of adults and children, also suffering from undernutrition. So these are the major issues we see. For undernutrition, you see them more in rural communities, but for overnutrition, which is obesity and all that, you see them more in urban communities. When we talk about malnutrition in Nigeria, everybody is looking at the north. Malnutrition actually affects every region of this country. Some other regions are doing well in terms of embracing the policies, taking the right step, towards improving malnutrition in their region. Some others are not doing as much as they're supposed to do, looking at the volume of challenges they have in their hands. This is the difference.
Some of them that have nutrition as part of their of their target area and all that, so they actually help and all that. And then of course international organizations are also helping, UNICEF, WHO and all that. Like the MMP powder is a collaboration of government and UNICEF, and then of course we're actually getting it and getting to the mothers and children in the community, and then it's spread across the country. So a lot is being done here.
Another civil society organization working to address malnutrition is the Lagos Food Bank Initiative, a non-profit, nutrition-focused initiative. The organization is committed to fighting hunger, reducing food waste, and solving the problem of malnutrition through targeted programs that seek to improve the nutrition, food intake of pregnant women and their infants who are not able to get the required nutrients during pregnancy and breastfeeding of their babies.
Kudos to organizations like Lagos Food Bank and other civil society organizations, because they've contributed a whole lot to helping the nation at large curb malnutrition. Even if it is clothing they are given, it saves the family money to buy the food. If it is medicine, it gives them more money to buy food. These organizations go a long way in helping the Nigerian nutritional status.
An organization that has worked on nutrition interventions since the 1980s is the Food Basket Foundation International, the first indigenous nutrition-focused non-profit, non-governmental organization in Nigeria. It was founded in 1989 with the singular mission of helping low-income families achieve food and nutrition security on a sustainable basis, especially for members of vulnerable groups.
Food Basket has done research, has done community outreaches and engagements, has done implementation programs at the community level in terms of empowering the community, both in terms of microcredit schemes, giving them palm oil and gari processing machines, doing nutrition education, and basically identifying some of the communities, particularly in the South, and we did some in the North as well, to sort of identify what the nutritional status was. We've done knowledge products. We were instrumental in creating the school feeding program in 2010. So we've done everything from policy work, research, and community engagement and knowledge management.
Nutrition is a pandemic in Nigeria today. We have staggering numbers globally and nationally on the effects of malnutrition in Nigeria. Civil society organizations like CS-SUNN, the Lagos Food Bank Initiative, and the Food Basket Foundation International are one of many nutrition-based civil society organizations working in tandem with government to provide humanitarian, programmatic interventions and advocacy to ensure that we are able to address and eradicate malnutrition in Nigeria.